Welcome into the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight, or today, or midday, I don't know, whenever you're deciding to listen to this, for one of our world-famous movie commentaries. Tonight we are watching the 2014 Jon Favreau joint Chef. And are we still calling movies joints? I don't know.
I think only Spike Lee was allowed to do that.
I didn't know if Spike Lee was going to sue us for that, if we busted that out, so may have to edit that out. I'm not sure.
I'll call him. We talk a lot.
So busy time in the bros' lives right now, but we're able to get Mr. Jeffrey Evelyn Hornacek to join me for this one. So got him on board. Now, Jeff, right now your wife is actually out of town for a little bit, back in her old stomping grounds. So what does your food menu look like this week? What have you been delving into?
I'm glad you asked. We had a chef's choice peanut butter and jelly no, I'm kidding. I've cooked for myself one night for sustenance, and I'm like, that's pretty good, but I think I'm ordering out the rest of the time. So
there we go, living that bachelor
everything's
life.
On the menu. Anything I want.
Anything he wants, and we will be divulging tomorrow night as well at a little special event. So that'll be a nice little meetup. So welcome in, everyone. We have got the movie paused. Hopefully you can get there as well. Open Road is fully on the screen. Not sure how long it is on the screen there, so just bear with us as we get into the movie, but buckle up and enjoy. Here we go. We'll press play in 3, 2, 1. All right.
Nathan, I've asked you this many times. I know ham. What other meats are on a Cuban sandwich?
It can vary. Yeah, but a lot of times it's ham, turkey, Swiss, and then a form of mustard of some type is on a Cubano, and then obviously the bread can vary, but maybe a baguette of some type, and then on a panini press to get that really smashed in factor and all the juices in there. In this one, they obviously take a type of
each other.
Yeah, they get a Mexican style braised pork shoulder. So that's the legit way to go. Get some nice and juicy pork in there.
Now, this is a great movie. Wow, that's impressive. Movie choice for us, Nate, because you are definitely a foodie. We've often not even joked. We've talked about starting the Bro Fork Squad podcast for you. But this movie, you probably know this better than I do. Did this make Favreau fall in love with the food scene, or did he make this movie because he already was?
It intensified his food love. That he kind of wanted to make a movie about food, about the chef life and all that. So once he got into this, it really intensified it, especially because he became friends with a guy, Roy Choi, which we'll probably bring up throughout the movie, who was brought on to consult with him. Then they ultimately came up with their own show, the Chef Show, where they would cook together. Yeah. They go to different restaurants and things on Netflix. So that's a great watch. Me and Jeff were just talking about that off pod.
Didn't realize my ex-wife was in this movie. The pig they're cutting up.
Sarah, what a bitch.
God, she won the kids. The inclusion of John Leguizamo in this is incredible. He is just a great ancillary character. Ooh, I love Bobby Cannavale too.
Yeah, he had some nice flavor to the mix.
I mean, in general, the cast of this movie, although a lot of them aren't in much of it, but it's pretty incredible on paper.
Yeah, I love how Favreau wrote and directed this, obviously, so he had a part in the casting. Oh, who do you want for your wife? Sofia Vergara? Yeah, sure, why not?
And then cast everyone else from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got some big names. I mean, we do have some big names in this. Oliver Platt's in it. Dustin Hoffman's in it. It's
Oliver
very
Platt the critic.
Yeah, he's the food critic. So it's very star-studded for what was kind of a relatively low budget film, especially from what he was coming from. It was only $11 million. I think it made upwards of 40 something. So
he's a cult classic, right?
Yeah, I didn't know before the pod and kind of doing a little research on this and getting out what I want to say about it. I didn't know if I want to call it a cult classic, but it kind of is.
I'm shocked at someone out there is like, you dumbass. It's not the case, but I'm shocked it's on HBO Max because I didn't think it was a Netflix original movie, but I think they bought it at one of the festivals and released it.
I thought that too, and I couldn't find anything on that. But I swear the first time I watched this was on Netflix.
Yes, 100%.
Several years ago. Obviously, you'll see his tattoos in here. Spoiler: Jon Favreau does not have tattoos, but he did that to kind of.
You kind of have to if you run a food truck, right?
Yeah, legitimize the role. A lot of the new foodie chefs are getting tattoos just to dedicate themselves to their craft.
Jon Favreau eating popcorn is just a great aesthetic.
Yeah. God, I love a good farmer's market.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's that little kettle corn going on. You big kettle corn
How many
fan?
times do you think he made him redo this since he's directing it? Like, no, we got to go again. I need to shove more popcorn in my fucking mouth.
You're like, John, you didn't have lunch, did you? No.
Actually, let's walk through it a few times without rolling, just to get everyone marked. So if you want popcorn, John, we can get it. But no, it's for the shot.
We've got 10 extra bags back here. It's okay.
Damn, what is that? Fuck me up.
That's quite the sandwich there. See in the background, they got a little farm for some Cajun andouille sausage, which is phenomenal.
How spicy is that? I've had a linguiça, which is like a Portuguese sausage. It has a little bite to it.
Andouilles, they don't have to be like super spicy. Another one I'm a big fan of is Boudin, which is like a sausage with like rice in it and meat and spices. It's really good.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Has a really good texture.
That loaf of bread that he has looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a good loaf he's got right there. So yeah, this one is kind of interesting. Interesting film for him to take on, especially in the time of his life when he did it, coming off some Iron Mans, some big budget Marvel films. But he said this himself. He wanted to take a step back, kind of do one for himself.
Yeah.
At this point, so
before I signed my life away to Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to bathe in that.
And I think what they're doing here, it looks like it's on a sheet pan. So baking bacon is the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you introduced me to
that. And like I was skeptical like a couple years ago, not doing it. I was like, can you get it really crispy? Because I like it almost burnt. And all you have to do, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just have to leave it in there longer. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
All right, so this is review night. It's the Game 7 of the World Series. No one fuck up.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
So is Bobby Cannavale like his sous chef or something?
Yeah. You got to make sure you got your 97, 98 mile an hour fastball. You got to be able to bring in the change whenever you want.
ScarJo, it's kind of interesting. She even has like the Black Widow look here, like what her hair was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And Bobby Cannavale would go on to star in Ant-Man.
And there we go. Dustin Hoffman making his appearance.
The Hoff. Oh, sorry. That's probably David Hasselhoff, isn't it?
That's a good question. I don't know who I've heard it for. But you get some early conflict here between the
so owner. Is he the owner?
Yeah, and the head chef here. Which I've never worked in a restaurant like this, but I imagine this happens a lot. The chef has a vision. He wants to do it this way. And he's like,
right.
The owner's like, no, we've been doing it this way for so many years. Fucking stick with it.
Yeah, well, if we stuck with that mentality, we wouldn't have the fucking wheel.
Yeah. But there's a lot of, like I was mentioning a second ago, there's some mirroring and correlation between kind of like where Favreau was in his life and this movie, because like I said, he took a step back from some of the bigger films he was doing to do a smaller film, which, spoiler if you haven't seen this, sorry, but he's at a nice restaurant, he's the head chef, and then eventually he takes a step back and starts his own food truck. So a little bit of a correlation there.
This is like Ron Artest and any coach he's ever had.
He's like, I got a little crazy in me, but just hear me out.
You ate a snake. I think Dustin Hoffman like his motivation here seems like he almost wants the review to be shitty, so he has an excuse to can Favreau.
Yeah, you see it all the time. Just set him up for failure and be like, hey, what do you expect me to do now? You fucked up. You made me fuck up.
So does Hoffman want to stick to like a more basic menu? Is that basically what?
Yeah, and then obviously you have the food critic coming in, so Favreau wants to do something different, kind of blow his socks off. But
I didn't know when he came in at the beginning of the scene. I didn't know if this was like specifically about the meal for the reviewer, or if he was just like in general saying like, "Hey, bro, your menu sucks." Chicken fingers.
Chicken fingies, you can dress those up. You know, get a
Fancy sauce,
little garlic aioli to dip them in, or something.
We didn't even do dino shapes.
Really, it's just mayo with garlic in it. But you know, just give it a fancy name and it works. Dino shapes.
It still blows my mind that Dustin Hoffman was Hook in Hook.
Like, if someone asked me who played Hook, I would immediately say, "Oh, Dustin Hoffman." But like, yeah, I can't piece that together in my head. Like on its own.
I think you should play your hits. I get it from ownership, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they're like kind of used to this. Like when Jerry Jones comes down from the owner's box, like, all right, let's go smoke in the parking lot for 20 minutes. French onion soup does sound really good.
Nice bringing it back to sports moment. The chocolate lava cake.
That is a crowd pleaser.
It really is. You're not going to find... I mean, who doesn't like a chocolate lava cake?
No one I want to associate with, I'll tell you that much.
No.
So does the chef staff... Was that like a more traditional menu? Did he cave, or did he go with his own thing?
Yeah, he caved on that.
That's why they were all disappointed. They're like, man, I thought you had the balls to do it.
Thought you were going to stand up to him, but ultimately bent the knee.
Imagine if this was your job. You're just admitting, like, I don't think I'll see a pair of tits again in my life, so might as well start doing this.
Yeah, it's skeleton puppeteering and Pornhub for me.
Pretty niche. What Pornhub? Biggest site in the world. No, the other thing, but yeah.
Yeah, this is where he starts. The seed is being planted now. He's like, I hate my life.
He's like, am I more pathetic than this guy? At least this guy's like, has the balls to be creative.
Yeah. That's the good thing about this movie. Yeah, the movie itself is kind of niche. If you just look at it at face value, because it's about the food industry, about food trucks, about this chef, but a lot of people can jump onto this and then they kind of fantasize on their own and romanticize about, oh man, what if I quit my job and did like a passion project or whatever I wanted to do. So it's got some things a lot of different people can claw onto.
And really just introduced me to like a whole world that I didn't know much about, but have always been kind of interested in.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fueled a lot by the food truck phenomenon that happened. And I don't know if this is 100% true, but it was, the whole food truck industry was fueled a lot by Roy Choi, who we talked about earlier, was brought on as a consulting person on this, because he had one of the first food trucks like in LA called the Choi's Kogi truck, which is like a Korean barbecue, which is actually, you can see the food truck in the background and some of the food truck scenes in this, but he was one of the first people to actually get like the food truck scene going. So that really ramped this up.
Oh, here we go. The caviar egg. What do you think?
I know this is a big thing.
Roast right there.
What's that?
To overcharge us for his lack of imagination or whatever, which was like the exact thing he was worried about.
Yeah, and the chocolate lava cake is where it really throws him over the boat, saying it's undercooked. It's supposed to be that way.
He didn't even have the courage to undercook it. Dramatic weight gain.
But yeah, I think Favreau. This was a good move for him at the time. It was like we were saying earlier, kind of it was one for him after doing the big Marvels, and then I mean I'm glad he got this not necessarily out of his system, but he was able to do this so then we could get the greatness that has been in the Star Wars universe afterwards and the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I made the joke to you before pod. He's like, all right, I want to do this one movie before I sell my soul to Lucasfilm. But he really, I mean, and I think it's even a lot more work because he not only, it's not like he just did The Mandalorian, but we kind of get the feeling that Lucasfilm was like, hey, can you actually just check like all the continuity on all these shows we have coming out?
Because, yeah, not to get off on a tangent, but yeah, with everything that's going on in that universe, like you've got to get shit buttoned up to make sure you don't have like the masses coming back and like, oh, look at this.
Excuse me.
That's not how.
Are these two like romantic together? Because I cannot see that at all in any world.
I mean, there's a little sexual tension. He wants it. She wants him. She wants him to think it could still happen, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, keep him on the hook.
Yeah. Because that gets her turned on. See, there you go. They say the key to a man's heart is through his stomach. I think it's to a woman's stomach too.
Absolutely.
If you can turn out a little.
I think what he's making is turning me on more than Scarlett Johansson.
I mean, it's a ton of olive oil, garlic, and it looked like red chili flakes. I mean, that's the start of a great meal.
Was this like a scampi?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he's making here. But yeah, that is kind of what it's looking like.
Wow, that's a lot of. Is that basil?
I think that was probably parsley.
Damn, this looks good.
And then the nice chef's
What is that
fork.
thing? I was gonna say that thing is fancy pants.
Which little side story to that actual chef's fork. There's a guy. His name's Andrew something. I can't remember, but he has a YouTube channel, Binging with Babish on YouTube, and he got that chef's fork tattooed on his forearm. Fast forward a few years, he actually met Jon Favreau, and he gave him that fork.
The one that he
from the movie. Yeah.
I thought you meant he cut it off of his arm.
No, he actually gave him the one used in the movie. Which cements in the thing we were saying earlier, like chefs and the foodie chefs like to get tattoos.
It's almost
there's another guy I'll watch YouTube videos of, and he has a spork on his forearm tattooed.
Pretty cool.
I don't know why, but it's funny.
What do you think the casting call for this maid read? Must be frumpy, disgruntled looking, very unattractive, so my rich husband doesn't cheat on me with you. And bilingual is a plus, but not required.
Yeah, I would love to see the casting calls for some of these things.
There's some you have to, because they have to tell you exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah,
so
like you don't.
Some people that are like ugly, stupid person. I'll go read for it.
Yeah, I would be interested to see like the verbiage that they use to get around some of the stuff, because you don't want to say like you have to be ugly, but
right, otherwise you get it. But you kind of do, right? You don't want a bunch of people showing up. You're like, dude, you don't look anything like what we need for the part.
Sorry, they just said they were first line. All right, we're good. Bye.
So, because I haven't seen this in a while and I missed their conversation, is Sofia Vergara has remarried Robert Downey Jr., right?
She married him and has since divorced him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember.
Yeah. So.
And he almost like patronizingly funds his food truck, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was actually checking that out before pod, and I thought that scene was a lot earlier, but it's a bit later. But yeah,
he like kind of has the inkling of the idea.
Yeah, and I think they say it in here. Robert Downey Jr. is Jon Favreau's ex-wife's ex-husband.
Yeah, that's not the guy you want to be like calling to ask for money.
No, but it works out in the end.
This is the crazy thing to me. Like, it's one thing to be a talented cook, but I mean, I'm talking out of my ass, but I think like half to like 60% of this is presentation. We basically have to be like an artist too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would be a tough thing to nail down, is like the actual artistry of it. Like you can cook some good food, but then at these Michelin's 3-star restaurants, you gotta make it look pretty too. It's all about the experience.
Oh yeah, church it up. The way chefs can cut is still incredible to me.
Yeah, in the opening scene, I think you said something like, "Holy shit!" Like when he was chopping like the cucumbers and all this, like that's like legitimately him. He went to like culinary school for a week because Roy Choi sent him there, and then he actually put him like working like his restaurant, doing like menial tasks like peeling and cutting 1,000 onions and stuff like that. So like he like legit got in there, and that's what I said earlier. Like this like intensified his love of food and the restaurateur world.
God, I want to taste whatever he just tasted.
Yeah. I think I wasn't paying attention. It might have been like lamb or something, but
yeah, it was some really tender red meat. And you know these guys are being completely honest because they wouldn't want to serve something in the restaurant that tastes like shit, you know?
No, they're gonna be they're gonna be behind it as well. So they can't be putting out shit.
Too much heat means spice, not temperature, right?
What's that?
When he says too much heat, he's not asking like, did I cook the dish too hot? He's asking, is it too spicy?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the spiciness of it.
No, fuck Twitter. What's on Twitter?
Yeah, this is a great part. He doesn't know what he did, and so he's about to come to the realization that he may have fucked up a little bit.
What does Twitter have to do with pussy? What doesn't Twitter have to do with pussy?
Everything relates to sex.
That's Robert California, right? Everything is sex.
Whenever I hear that, I think of Robert California.
Well, yeah, that's what I was asking. Isn't it?
Oh, I thought you said Robert Downey Jr. Sorry.
No, maybe I did. Sorry, I meant Robert California.
Yeah, Robert California. What he's like talking to Jim, and he wants
everything. Jim,
I've got two analogies. One is about life. One is about sex. He says like the life. He's like, actually, they're both about sex. I misspoke.
So yeah, I know Leguizamo joins him on the food truck thing. Does Cannavale?
No. It's basically just him, Leguizamo, and then his son.
Oh, dude, buttered bread. Oh, fuck.
Well, this is a big thing here because I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure at the end of this film, like during the credits afterwards, it's actually Jon Favreau and Roy Choi, like not in the movie, like in real life, and it's him teaching him how to make the perfect grilled cheese. So
wow,
you get a little callback later on, if I'm not mistaken, after credits. But I mean, oh my god, look at that thing.
Yeah, that's the key to the Cuban too. Is whatever that like when you said garlic, is that you're referring to like that garlic butter that they brush on top of it?
Wait, sorry, what?
Is it a garlic butter they put on top of it?
Like
butter.
This grilled cheese?
Yeah. He had some. It definitely looked like a butter or a margarine that he was.
I think it was just butter. Yeah, I think that was just butter. But I mean, you get the little cheese drip on the side, so it crisps up on the hot top. I thought
the place we worked in college, they actually had a pretty good grilled cheese.
I mean, it was us making the grilled cheese, so I mean, I give credit to us.
What?
I give credit to us making it. We would get in some good competition. That's actually, I was going to mention this. That's the only really food place I've worked at, but it was a great 2 years, and we had some great sandwich making competitions. We have friends come in, and we just make them different sandwiches so they can rate them.
Yeah, luckily the deli meat wasn't very carefully inventoried because we were the ones doing the inventory.
We were poor college kids, so we definitely.
Let them pay us with cold cuts.
Yeah, they paid us with cold cuts and Gatorades and other accoutrements.
He's like, look, I handle shit. It's like, Dad, this is pretty scathing.
Yeah, I think I may have misspoke earlier. Whenever they're talking about Twitter, I thought he had already sent the tweet out. He hasn't sent the tweet out yet.
I don't remember. I don't remember how he gets to the food truck at all. So this is all.
That's good. But he is about to try and send a direct message to Oliver Platt's character, and he ends up just tweeting it out. So that's what I thought had already happened. I thought that's early
right
in the movie.
For some reason, I thought the first time Oliver Platt came to eat at the restaurant, we saw him. But I guess he still hasn't actually shown up in the movie, although he's been felt in the plot.
Yeah, because he comes back later because Favreau has his big blow up scene.
Was there like some previous history that they had together? Like what? Does they feel like this guy just has it out for him?
Not that I'm aware of. I really do enjoy this movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I'm trying to remember back now. I don't think they have any like history. He just wanted to really impress him. He's a big movie critic.
Want to throw hands?
Later is going to want to throw hands after the bad reviews and all that.
See, this is, I mean, like nowadays, obviously people can review restaurants on like Yelp and Google, but some of them, like if you read them, people are ridiculous. Like I'll read reviews where people bitch about a restaurant. And I'm like, that all sounds like your fault.
I know it's quite the task actually, just like going through reviews and be like, oh, here's a 1-2 star, and like what they complain about, like, okay, so
I've seen like have never eaten here.
Yeah,
2 stars. Pretty pro to have a bench press next to your child's bed.
Yeah, it was funny. There was a barbecue restaurant near our house that you and your wife need to come over to and visit sometime. But was reading the review and it was like a 2-star, and like one of the things, like, I don't want to degrade her, but like her mom was in a wheelchair and she's like, oh, the steep grade, I had to push the wheelchair up and blah blah blah, and like you can't grade the restaurant on that. Like it was still wheelchair accessible.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the food. I'm sorry you had to push it up, but don't downgrade the restaurant for that.
So he did send the tweet already? Is that what all these things are?
He hasn't, no. And he thinks he's like sending him a private message and he just tweets it out for everyone.
He has an iPad in 2014? That one must have been like the early iPad, right?
Yeah, it looks a little thick. So yeah, it must have been like one of the earlier ones. Ooh, blurs his face out so they can't know him when he goes to the restaurant.
Oh, and so he doesn't know what he looks like, so he wouldn't have even.
Yeah, Ramsey, Michelle. That's supposed to be like the mashup of like 2 famous chefs' names, like Gordon Ramsay and I can't remember the other one, Michelle something.
Michelle Beadle.
Or Michael, I can't remember. Mikkel. But I think the Ramsay comes from Gordon Ramsay is where that came from. He sends it off, goes to bed, feels all proud of himself, like, oh, cool, I just faced him. Yeah, you just tweeted that out to 1 billion people.
This is a teenage girl's dream, seeing this many notifications.
Racking them up.
He probably still won't get as high as some of these people's emails. Like, well, that's my junk email. Then take it off your phone because you have 1,400 unread messages.
Oh my God, I've got friends that it drives me insane. A mutual friend of ours, PP are his initials, but he has his personal email. It's literally like 10,000 on there, just unread. I'm like, I get that. I'm gonna break your phone. That's stressing me out.
It's haunting. It's like, nice, good follower day. Although, it came at a cost.
Yeah, you got over 1,500 followers overnight. How'd you do that, Dad? It's in a private message. No, you didn't.
Told him where and how I was going to kill him. Didn't say when, though.
Yeah, may have fucked up. Fresh squeezed orange juice, which is what it looks like he's doing. That seems like the most like non-beneficial task.
The juice is not worth the squeeze.
No, you literally. I've actually never done it, but I would say you have to do like 10 oranges to get like a glass. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, kid, if you don't eat those hash browns, I will.
Yeah, they've got the perfect crisp. Your dad's a chef. Just eat them. They're delicious.
Is this his home kitchen? He has like the big like vent.
Yeah, like half his apartment is a kitchen.
Worth it.
This is the scene I thought it was
Have,
earlier. I got ahead of myself. Now they're talking about Twitter at the restaurant.
up to 2,000 followers. That's pretty solid, man.
Yeah, overnight, that's not too shabby. He's just gonna compound his problem now.
Double down. That's what men do.
Just stick to food.
I was gonna say, is that like a metaphor for threatening him? Like, whole new menu just for you, asshole.
Asshole.
Is he actually saying, come down and I'll cook something brand new?
Fun fact about Twitter about this: they didn't pay anything for like royalties or anything for like being in the movie so much. But they did consult a little bit on. I don't think it's happened yet, but there's some like graphics of like the Twitter bird that they had some adjustments.
What kind of website could let a 10-year-old get on his bad language?
Yeah, YouTube is dangerous.
Yeah, and we don't even see the dark shit on there, you know?
Odie, how do you have this nice house? Well, I've got 2 divorces under my belt, so.
My publicist said she could talk to her.
Okay, sure.
So does she... They have not a good relationship, but like she doesn't want him to fail, right?
Yeah, correct. Well, because she's the one who kind of sets it up with Robert Downey Jr. later to get the food truck for him. So she's kind of fueling his dream.
When did she marry Joe Manganiello? Were they married in 14?
That seems about the right time. Yeah.
She hasn't been in much since Modern Family ended.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Again, planting another seed. Food truck idea. He doesn't want it yet, but he will.
Now, a movie commentary is the perfect time to get into this. So let's just think about, like, for him, obviously, he has to make, ends meet after he loses his job. But if we wanted to do it, like, to start our own, what do you think our costs are going to be? Like, truck. I mean, it seems like once you buy the truck, I mean, it's like way cheaper than renting out a whole like space for a restaurant, right?
Yeah, I think upfront costs, you would probably be looking at like, man, I don't know. It just depends on like where the truck is and like what you have to put into it. I would say $15,000 to $20,000 would be like the upper end, I think. And then just depending on like how many nights you're running it, it would be, I would think maybe like 1,000 or so, like supplies and things per night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Worth looking into.
I think so. It's funny, like, obviously I like to cook a lot and like try different things. Like some of the best meals I make are most of the time for like me and my wife when I'm just like making shit up.
Yeah.
And like I just like throw shit together. I'm like, oh damn, this turned out pretty good. But I never have the balls to do it. Like whenever we have like people over, I'm cooking for other people. Like I want to stick to like a recipe and be like, oh, let's do this, this, and this. I'm like, damn it, some of the best meals I make, I'm like, how did I make this? I don't even know how it came together.
Well, I don't know, sometimes inspiration just strikes, but with some of those recipes though, like as long as you don't deviate on like crucial ingredients, like you know, fuck around and find out a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like cooking is, I mean, it's a culinary art, so I mean it's an art in some way. which is funny because I like cooking. I'm decent at cooking, but I am a horrible artist. My wife likes to paint, and we've had a couple paint nights in the past, and they're god awful. What turns out from my paintbrushes.
I realized very early on I had no artistic skills.
No, they're very bad. I don't know where it went, but I had a picture of Vision that I did somewhere.
Oh, I think I have seen it.
I think it's in my office somewhere. I can't remember where I put it. It's not great, but there's a yellow dot in the middle of his head.
This guy's being way too hard, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. He's got a job to do. He's got a business to float, and at the end of the day, he knows he has a talented chef. That's why he hired him.
It's like the owner getting onto the GM. Tony just can't afford to leave, man. Like, don't put him in this position.
Yeah. And that's what he's saying. He's like, no. He's like, don't follow me. This is my decision. I'm doing my own thing. So he's still looking out for his sous chef and for his crew.
It's very clear Dustin Hoffman just did not want him there anymore, no matter what he had to do to force him out.
Yeah. But now inspiration strikes. He runs by the farmer's market. He gets his supplies, and now he's going to go to work.
This is like when Iron Man makes the suit, basically.
Man, there's correlations all over the place. All the fresh veg.
Produce. Fresh produce, baby.
Can't beat it.
This that same night?
Yeah, it was that same night. The food critic is coming back for more.
He's gonna know he's not there though, right? He's not gonna like give Jon Favreau a bad review when he wasn't the chef.
I don't know. We'll have to watch and find out. But yeah, the food critic, like you were saying earlier, is kind of fallen by the wayside. You've got Google reviews, you got Yelp, you got all these other things. So,
like, I wouldn't know who's reputable or like who would, like if he give a restaurant a bad review, like, oh shit, that's damning. That like, there's no like celebrity food critics.
No, and even when they were popular, like I wasn't even paying attention to it, so I have no idea who would be on that list.
That's the caviar egg that he shit all over him for, right?
Yeah, and that's why he was kind of like looking around. He's like, they're serving the same menu as last time. I thought I was going to get something different this time.
Is this that spare rib you were talking about?
That looks like some pork belly. So it's basically from like the same area as bacon, but just thicker and cooked a little different. But it's bacon basically, so it's delicious.
Yeah, I mean it looks so tender when you cut it.
Like a nice crispy top. Well, sorry, the head chef got fired, so you're going to get the same menu. Oh, he's trying to pull out the expensive wine to save face here.
Does he recognize the critic?
Oh, yeah. 100%. And now we're about to come to the blow-up point. When Favreau comes back. A little octopus.
Oh my
squid.
God, dude. What is that sauce? Like a spicy chili?
Yeah, it's got maybe some type of Asian sauce with some soy and maybe some chili sauce and gochujang. I mean, God, I already ate dinner, but my mouth is watering looking at him.
I was going to say, this is orgasmic.
Cut that ribeye. Jesus. He's like laughing, taking pictures. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
They bring out like a McDonald's bag next.
They're really serving me this shit.
That griddle looks like broken glass, even now.
Yeah. God, like this is so intense. Like all the shit he's going through making this. And this little fresh whipped cream.
Wow. Like real whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a graham cracker?
I think that was that.
Was that the brittle?
Yeah, that was that sugar brittle that he made.
Oh my God.
That's his way of relieving stress. Like some guys would go to like the gym and like pump iron, get their stress out. He's like, I'm just going to cook like an 8-course meal to myself.
Not even hungry.
No. It's like, I don't even have to eat this food. I know it's good.
Chocolate lava cake, bro.
Which this is one of like the kind of continuity things I have a problem with in this is one of his complaints is the lava cake is undercooked. And the way the lava cake is cooked is it's like the batter, and then they have like a little piece of like chocolate, I think like ganache, like in the middle, and that melts. And like it's not undercooked.
I didn't know if it was like that or like a jelly donut.
No, they actually put like a little piece of chocolate in the middle, and then it just cooks and melts, and it's in the middle. And then when you cut it, it opens up. It's not undercooked. Which a food critic would know that. That's like one of my big complaints about this movie is like, I don't know how he complains about that. He should know how a chocolate lava cake works.
Yeah.
And it's cooked.
Because like the casual reader doesn't know.
Which I think Favreau kind of tears in him and like talks about it here. And this is probably where I learned it was chocolate ganache that they put in the middle.
You're not getting to me, as he's like screaming at him across the table.
Sir, you seem a bit perturbed.
He's like actually teaching him here.
Yeah. And like I said, I think this is where I probably learned it all too. And this is another fantasy thing a lot of people can relate to, like that they probably never do, but they get angry and like fantasize about, oh man, I have so many things to say to this person, and this is how it would go. But
yeah,
you never
like
do it. He's actually living the dream here.
This would have been a fun day of shooting.
Yeah. I was listening to, I don't know, a podcast recently, and I can't remember what it was about, but it was talking about like 90% of the things you think about in your head never happen. Like if it's good or bad things.
Oh, way more than 90%, bro.
This is the 10. This is like the 5 or 10%. Like shit is actually hitting the fan that never happens, and it's coming to fruition now. And yeah, this is kind of the start of like the Twitter era. I would almost say like 2014, like things going viral, people posting videos and all this shit.
Yeah, this was before Twitter got like really wild.
Yeah.
There's Amy Sedaris, who I hate in The Mandalorian. Makes more sense now that Favreau cast her.
Yes. Big connection there. Yeah, not a huge
Who is
fan
she, his lawyer?
A publicist, I think. Or maybe I think Sofia Vergara's publicist. Yeah.
It's such an old person thing to be like, how do we delete that from the internet? Like, no, that you can't.
Oh my God, there's been so many instances. My mom like asked me, "Did you see that on Facebook?" No, Mom. Everything you see on Facebook, I don't see.
Right, it's not like the news.
It's not guaranteed I will see it as well.
It's hilarious.
You fucked up, but you also have 20,000 followers, so it kind of evens out.
Because I just have the subtitles on, I'm picturing Amy Sedaris' character with like a really strong Real Housewives of New Jersey accent, but
I mean, you got the hair, you got the Karen hair, you got the tan. It's all there.
Tan, yeah. Go underground.
But yeah, it definitely makes sense why she's in The Mandalorian now. Yeah, and like you said, not a huge fan of her junkyard owner portrayal.
No, hate it. So she's basically saying to him that he needs to kind of do like what Bruce Wayne does in The Dark Knight Rises. Like, you just got to go underground and then come back and you can kill again.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that he does Cubans, because as far as we know at the restaurant, he doesn't have like any like specific tie to Cuban food, right? Like it was just was it an American restaurant?
Yeah, I think it was just like kind of general American fare, not affair, at the restaurant. But now we're gonna get the food truck rolling here and get into the meat and potatoes of the whole movie.
So they have split custody. He's like, I don't want my kid to see me unemployed.
Yeah. But first, we got to take a visit. One of the things I like about this movie as well is like the on-site shooting. Like they shot in L.A. Obviously, they shoot in New Orleans, they shoot in Austin, Texas. It's cool, like actually seeing like gritty, raw shit, like actually in the city that you're going to. They're not shooting like some stage and be like, "Hey, we're in this place." They actually went on site and did a lot of the shooting, so it made it a lot more authentic. Which
it's funny, a lot of those cities you mentioned, for some reason, I associate with having a pretty good food truck scene, probably, especially Austin.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, just food in general, and like very specific food, iconic food. Like as we'll get into later, like Austin, big in barbecue, middle of Texas, of course, and then New Orleans. What's one of the main things they're known for? Po' boys and beignets, which they eat there. I can't remember if they get po' boys, but po' boys, gumbo, all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure there was one drunken night several years ago where we delved into the beignet bucket ourselves.
Oh yeah,
at like 2 a.m.
This is where he's trying to be like a good friend.
Yeah. If you do it just right with a plate of beignets, you can make it look like you're sniffing cocaine because all the powdered sugar on there.
Very cool.
That's a pro tip.
Someone's like, pause, let me write that down. Kettle One. Where's that rank on the cheapness of vodka scale?
You know, I'm not a huge vodka guy, so I don't know. I've always thought Kettle One was pretty decent. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like you hear Grey Goose, like Grey Goose, I think is nice and good. I don't think it's like top shelf. Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the way rappers talk about it, because I know "Sippin' on a Goose" is in like several songs.
Yeah, and I mean, just being where we are, we're in the great state of Texas. I mean, Tito's is king. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to think. Like if I wanted to buy, like I don't buy like cheap vodka. Obviously, it's not like one of those like plastic containers, but
no, it's not plastic, and it's not $8 for a 750.
Right.
But I mean, Tito's is nice, middle of the road.
Ew, vodka shots. Come on, man.
I can't do. Actually, I'm actually drinking some vodka right now, but it's a flavored vodka in a LaCroix mixed.
Oh, perfect.
It's good. It's a grapefruit vodka with a lemon LaCroix.
Deep Eddies, is that what it is?
Yeah, another Texas staple.
Yeah. I can't remember. Does she not dump him, but is she like, yeah, I'm not gonna fuck you if you just have a food truck?
Yeah, this is where I kind of separate ties, but it's okay. He makes it out okay in the end.
He's had a pretty good track record of dating or being with hot women. I mean, Sofia Vergara was your ex-wife, and this is your soon-to-be ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and like I don't know why it's still kind of a trope, but I mean you get it in like King of Queens, like
according to Jim,
fat husband. Yeah, according to Jim, yeah, fat husband and the way over the head attractive wife that is out of his league.
She wanted to marry a fat guy from Jersey, man. It's a girl's dream.
Living the dream.
Percy's his kid, right?
Yeah, Percy's his kid. And that was another one of the kind of analogies to Favreau's life in this as well. Like Favreau was very busy with work, with directing movies, with acting, all that kind of stuff, and him having kids. So there's that separation and trying to fit in time for his kids, and that bleeds over into this movie that he made as well. So another little fun fact of Favreau's life kind of leaking into this script.
Imagine being his kid and like your dad pretty much runs Star Wars.
I mean, I actually have no idea how many kids he has or what ages they are, but yeah, that's got to be insane. Like he's spearheading like one of the biggest media pushes going on right now.
Mm-hmm. God, we haven't even got to the. I'm just thinking about these Cubans. I'm like, damn.
I know we haven't. I mean, I like the whole movie, but we haven't even got to the good part yet, which is great. We still got some good shit coming up.
I can't remember, and unfortunately, I won't be able to hear it because it's muted. But what's the soundtrack for this like? Because I could see like him cooking up in his truck, and there's some good songs, some bangers, if you will.
That's a good question, and that's one of the things I kind of fault myself for. I'm bad at picking up on like music and soundtracks in movies. Like, I know Banner's our big soundtrack and movie music guy, but I'm horrible at like remembering all that shit.
Yeah, he has a steel trap when it comes to that.
The guy who will probably just be driving to work and listening to some John Williams.
Oh yeah. So I'm confused. Where is Percy? Or she just doesn't want him to see her?
He's with her right now.
No, his kid. Seemed like he came there to pick him up, and they like diverted him to the backyard.
I think the kid's at the house.
With the internet and the Twitter. I'm getting caught watching the movie again.
I know.
I'm like, holy shit,
we get tied in here, but it's a pivotal scene here. It's a big part in the relationship between Favreau and MJ Anthony, who plays his son Percy.
Yeah, he's basically like, it's not worth doing unless my kid's with me.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying a second ago, the pivotal part. They're going to go to Miami now, which is kind of the home of the Cubano.
Oh yeah, it's like learning from the League of Shadows how to kill someone. You know, like teach me.
This is his Cubano chef origin story. I've never been to Miami.
I don't think I have either.
I don't know why I was just thinking about that the other day.
I think that shot of the plane coming in over the Miami logo, it's probably stock footage, so this isn't a big revelation, but I think that's the same image in the beginning of the Welcome to Miami Will Smith music video.
Wow, that would be amazing if that was. I know some of the driving footage for this movie Favreau did say was stock footage, and they like CGI'd like the truck or like cars in there, so maybe they did the same thing for the plane ride.
Why not?
Why not? Welcome to Miami.
This kid's hat. He's like, after we go get dinner at 4:30 p.m., I have a shuffleboard tournament I have to go play in.
I mean, he's in Florida. He's trying to fit in with the retirees. He wants to make sure that they like him.
That makes sense.
Aboleta.
It looks like he's the beat writer for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1942. The guy that follows the team.
Got a young up-and-comer Jackie Robinson batting.
Because he's got that fucking short tie on, too.
The hat is the same as the guy there.
Uh-oh, this will get the ladies dancing. Like he would be in fucking Miami with a sport coat on. Bro, you'd be
I can't see how that would be comfortable. Yeah. Like Favreau with a short sleeve button up. I get it. There we go. That's what you should be wearing. And the kid right now is jonesing because he's seeing his mom and dad. There's a little spark. There's a few sparks flying now.
He's like, oh, y'all fucking?
Y'all fucking? You're gonna get back together?
I don't.
Sofia Vergara and John Leguizamo, they're both from Colombia.
Oh, really?
By the way.
Interesting. The bongos guy in the background, get it.
He's killing it. He's gonna like get a blister from banging those so hard.
This is the most Miami old person restaurant I've ever seen.
And I don't even know what, like, is it like the glass with like the decorative shit on it? And I don't know. I can't pinpoint it, but I 100% agree with you.
So this guy's an investor?
This is her father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so he never met him before? Or is he...
I think they met. Yeah. That's why right now he's like, hey, I've actually lost some weight since last time you saw me. Don't worry that I'm eating this Cubano, though, with all this bread and meat, so.
I was going to say, I kind of want to pan out. I want to see the food. Did they both get Cubanos? Because Favreau's looks like grilled on the top and her dad's doesn't. Maybe it's just the angle.
But yeah, I don't know what it is, but they did. Hopefully, this is shot on scene too in Miami because it fits the role really well. This restaurant.
Yeah, her saying yours are way better. He's like, but these guys make money selling these, so that means.
There we go.
Let me hear him out.
Let him talk to Marvin.
So this guy being Robert Downey Jr. happens to also live in Miami. Is that why he kind of went on the trip with her?
I'm trying to piece this together, but yeah, I think so. Because yeah, I think they have to drive this back to LA. And that's where, when I was talking about a second ago, like some of the stock footage comes in.
Hmm. So he's basically just like a VC, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it's explained what his actual job is, or maybe it isn't. I don't know. But yeah, VC is probably a good guess.
In case you don't want to remove yours. I mean, when you're rich, bro, you can do weird shit like this.
Yeah, I know. This is just like kind of the setting the scene for Robert Downey Jr. being like an eccentric weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
Making you put on the booties before you come in.
I wish I could take. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit just because to get Downey's full acting, you have to hear him.
Yeah, because this is. I mean, it's short lived for him in this movie, but it's a fun short dynamic that they throw in here.
It's crazy how he's womanizing again. So I'm like, it's Tony Stark.
Eat something. Eat some crackers. And then just immediately right into it. She's pregnant. Huh? This is how we're starting the conversation?
Pissed on a stick.
It's funny how he sets up this whole conversation kind of giving the illusion like maybe it is mine. I don't know. But he had a vasectomy in 2008, so he knows it's not.
So clearly she's a fucking liar. Sperm bandit.
But yeah, you get like a kind of a more kinky Tony Stark in this scene with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. The unbuttoned shirt and the necklace definitely give off that vibe. Like he's going to try and sell Favreau pot halfway through this.
It's like, you good? You want a coconut water? You want a joint? Well, kind of
what?
now.
Yeah, well, if you're offering. What's he picking out?
Some carpet to go in his office.
Oh.
Because people keep slipping with the booties on. Like, okay, this is kind of a product of your own.
It gives me the negotiating upper hand when they don't have good footing in my office.
Yeah. Well, you're making them put booties on. It's just such like a morbid conversation. Like you have no idea where it's going. You have no idea what they were just talking about a second ago. I'm like, well, I came here to talk about a food truck, and now we're talking about your pregnant receptionist. I don't know what's happening.
Well, you knew we would end up on this topic. Don't act like you didn't.
Like, we'll get into the good stuff.
It is weird to still have photos of you with your ex-wife.
But I mean, that's 100% something his character would have. He's just, yeah, we were married. We're not married now. It is what it is. But now I got to come to you and try and save face.
At least he was honest.
He's just basically Robert Downey Jr. is just toying with him, just making him say what he wants him to say. Like, okay, yeah, this is good. He's still looking at the carpet, like trying to make a decision. He has it in his hands.
He's like, look, I'm going to get this in before lunch, so I want to examine these samples. Then maybe I fucked her after.
Yeah, now you get into like the weird crossover relationship. I don't know if there was maybe some crossover with you guys. But nothing is a big deal to Robert Downey Jr. in this movie, his character.
He's going in for the kill now. They might make out to consummate the deal.
Yeah. And just like that, the food truck is being pulled around, and the audience leaves the conversation saying, did we even talk about the food truck?
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened.
So I don't get it. Does Downey like not want to invest any money in it, or does he like want it to fail? Why does he have to use this truck?
I mean, it's just the best available he can get right now, so.
This would be fucking insane to try and take out.
But it needs a little TLC. Yeah, when you were talking about this earlier, like, I wonder what the upfront cost, like, man, just depending on like what the shape of food truck was in, that would be the biggest being. If you got something like this, I don't know how much anything like that would cost. If you could get that for like $5, $6, $7 grand, and then it may cost another $5 or $7 grand to fix it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically 25 years old when you're buying it, and wear and tear. I mean, I know they're not connected to each other, but like having a whole kitchen operate out the back of it can't help the engine much. Like the fucking stress on the car.
Yeah. I don't know if those things have like a separate generator that they run off of, so the engine isn't running the whole time. I'm sure some of them do. Just so they aren't doing what you said they were doing, like putting wear and tear on the whole car. But yeah, I love the idea behind this. Like, he's so pumped. He's doing what he wants to do now. But this is the time in his life when he needs to do it. He's almost at rock bottom, so he doesn't have many choices.
Yeah, and he needs to make a decision of his own without feeling like his career is dictated by like this not bad luck, but bad situation he's now in.
Yeah.
Of course I did. He's my ex-husband. What? I'm confused. They got divorced, and then she married him, right? Or did he marry him? Did she marry him before Favreau?
She married Robert Downey after, but now they're since divorced. So
why did he ask her if you fucked him after we got divorced? Like, yeah, I married him after we got divorced.
Yeah, I think I missed that line there. Had a couple drinks. Same story as Robert Downey
Sounds like he
Jr.'s.
roofied you the way she like pantomimed that.
Yeah. Couple drinks. I don't remember anything after the first one. Okay, that's kind of telling. I mean, you're saying earlier, like, what has she been in since? Like, does it even matter? Like, at this point, she's married to Joe Manganiello. I'm sure they're just having a great life. Just live it up.
I know she's done like a little bit of modeling. Like I've seen her. It's like a perfume commercial or something she's in.
As she should.
Yeah, let me see what IMDb has her filmography at.
Here we go. Some father-son bonding by cleaning. Just what he wants.
Does he have a name yet in mind for the food truck?
I'm not sure.
Because I can't even remember what he calls it.
He ends up calling it El Jefe, which is like his nickname. The boss. Or no, I mean, that's El Jefe. That'd be Jeff.
Is that a box of couscous that he found?
Maybe some quinoa?
Some grain. Yeah, so we just got to replace all the, or is he going to clean that up and reuse it, that oven equipment?
Yeah, all the oven equipment I think is still usable. Just
it's probably way newer than the car.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was just a box truck that they put all that shit in. Just needs to get all the grease and shit off of it.
Yeah, which there's probably an insane amount. Like, how would you even clean this like after you put back in the kitchen?
I don't know. And like just the maintenance in general on a food truck, like I can't imagine like the grime and grease buildup because you're constantly cooking in like such a confined space.
Yeah, imagine him cleaning that sink. Oh yeah, we're actually throwing that away. I spent an hour on this.
Like, I mean, it probably goes without saying, like the kitchen needs to be cleaned after like every night you use it. But like in a food truck, I can only imagine like how much elbow grease you need to put into that to make sure it doesn't degrade really quick.
Oh.
Maybe some, spoiled meat or dead animal in there. Who knows?
Ew,
Oh, just pulling
like
out like
raw meat in a...
Yeah, full sheet tray with something you don't know. Oh, God, that looks nasty.
Oh, Dad.
Waste not.
Waste not, want not. What if it's literal poop?
Yeah. Got a little conflict here.
I don't know. This is a hill I might be willing to die on if I was this kid.
Well, I'm sure I would be too at like 10 years old. I'm like, you know how bad that smells? Like, even at my age, like, sometimes I'll leave like a little Tupperware thing in the fridge way too long. I'm like, this thing isn't getting cleaned out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gotta just admit defeat.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Oh, is this fish? God.
We're just gonna die on this hill. Yeah, that's not great.
For as good as the Cubans looked earlier in that, whatever it was, pork belly, that looked equally as bad.
Yeah, like gelatinous fish. Anytime, like, unless you're talking about gelatin, like Jello, gelatinous is not a word you want to associate with
I don't
food.
think anything else should be gelatinous.
God. That's such like a gag.
It's one of those words that like it sounds like it should. It's the word is. Like,
it fits so perfectly.
It's basically onomatopoeia, right? Where a word like pow and bam.
Like another example, like moist. That's another one. That's another trigger word for a lot of people.
Oh God, yeah. Remember Dane Cook's bit?
Yeah.
I realize what people don't like about the word. It's the oist.
It's the oist. Gotta have a nice panini press.
Grills. Yeah. In theory, big fan. They sucked clean though.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I know I had one in college at some point. You just don't see them around that often anymore.
Yeah, we have one, and instead we never cook on it. We just use it for as a panini press.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, actually not like cooking like chicken breast or anything on there.
Yeah, back in college, that was the move. But now
Yeah. And then I just have like seasoning stuck to it for days. I'm like,
ugh,
fuck.
dude, you could not get them cleaned. It was
Gotta
so.
clean this off now. This is a important exchange here, getting his first chef knife.
Those things are so sharp you could chop your finger off and not even know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sometimes if a knife is sharp enough and you cut yourself, yeah, you don't know it until you start seeing blood come out. But one thing about a good sharp knife is it's actually better than a dull knife because you don't have to put as much force on it. So if you have like a dull knife, you really have to like hammer down on
Oh
it.
yeah,
Like that's when you actually like start
ugh.
fidgeting around and you could cut yourself.
Where you like tear, like if you try to cut something, you just end up tearing it. Like
Yeah.
when I try to cut chicken with like our shitty kitchen knife, I end up like pulling it apart.
Yeah. Well, you just got pulled chicken at that point, which is good.
There we go, win-win.
Here we go, Martin, coming in the save today.
Please help us. There's a bit of a language barrier. We're getting dunked on by these workers over here. So I'm sure we find out something had to have happened at the restaurant, right? Like he didn't just, or did he just hate being sous chef and want to come work in a food truck?
I mean, kind of the latter. He just wanted to come join his friend. He trusts the process.
There you go.
Joel Embiid. Hashtag Sixers.
Hashtag good reference.
Bringing it back to sports.
I was going to do in 10 seconds what he's been trying to do for like 2 hours. Get them to get off their ass.
He's basically like, hey, if you guys help us load this, we're going to cook you some bomb-ass Cubanos.
That's a deal I would make.
Absolutely. I'll do some manual labor for some good food.
God, how heavy must that be? It's a whole fucking oven.
Yeah, I know we were talking about this earlier. I forgot they had this scene, and they did not use the other ovens. They completely, basically gutted it out, except for like the cabinets up top. But you still got good bones. Still got good bones.
Oh yeah. This kid's just like hanging from shit in there. Like, dude, this is not like a.
I don't know where this goes.
What fruit was that that dude was chopping up?
It was a coconut. It was like a green coconut. Like the shell was still on it. The outside shell. Plantains. If you can find plantain chips, they're actually really good. I've been on a big
Yeah, I normally don't like banana chips of any kind, but those I do like.
Yeah, there's a really random, literally a couple hours ago, ran across the street to the Mexican meat market and bought a couple bags of plantain chips. They're good. They're not like sweet like bananas.
I was gonna say they salt them, right? Not a lot.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I mean, it's just like a potato chip, basically.
Oh,
And yeah, here we go. Here's the genesis of the Cubano. So they basically have like a big pork shoulder or pork butt in there that they're going to marinate and cook.
Adidas must have had some money in here because John Leguizamo has had a backwards Adidas hat. Now he's got like the Tracy McGrady forearm sweatband.
Man, the sweatband. Now you just see the guys with like the sleeves and everything. But yeah, bring back the arm sweatband. I had a couple of those in college.
Iverson for a while was wearing like finger shooter sleeves, like for one of his individual fingers.
Oh god.
As soon as El Jefe are the tattoos on his knuckles.
Yeah.
I would do anything to try a bite of that.
Yeah. Yeah, marinated in I think some like lime and orange juice, chilies.
God. Is the kid actually a vegan?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so.
Pretty good. It's the best shit you ever had in your life. Now try cocaine. No, Martin's 8.
Okay, this is better. Yeah, food trucks are so fun. I don't know what it is about them, but just the fact that they're churning out all this great food, and just it coming out of a food truck makes it taste better.
So do they cook it in the oven and then also throw it on the flat top, or was he cooking a different meat?
That was the that was either like the turkey or like the sliced ham he's doing.
Okay, God, whatever that is, it looks delicious.
Because yeah, like that actually might be the stuff that they just sliced off there. But yeah, they like marinate it, and then I think he's just kind of charring it on the flat top actually. But a lot of times they will do like two different types of meats, pickles,
whatever that mustard stuff is, looks good.
Mustard, and then Swiss cheese on there.
And are they like are they bread and butter pickles or are they kosher dill?
I think they're gonna go more of like a kosher dill.
I don't remember if they were sweet or not. Oh yeah, this is the best part. Get it that little char. Now the key with the Cuban is you really smash it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You get it down like a panini.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't
get
want
everything. Get everything to get to know each other. You want them to all be friends.
Yeah, get close together. He's letting this thing cook. I'm getting nervous. Take it off.
You're like, wait for the cheese to melt. Just got to wait on it.
See, I think this is the.
You can't be guessing. Burnt. There we go. Perfect.
What about the bottom? Bottom's good?
Bottom's good. Oh yeah.
That's part
of you got to taste the product just to make sure
it's a sampler. Look, if we're selling, guys, we got to be able to stand behind it. So was the key, because obviously wherever he got the meat is the key here. Did they ever say like how he has such a good meat hookup?
I don't think like the source of the meat is ever explained. It's just the marinating and cooking process is what drives it home. And this is the thing, like with them, like they're just doing Cubanos, and that's where some of like the best menus come from. Like keep it simple. Don't get like cheesecake.
I just love like the crowd coming up. You know, they got to be like, sorry to cut you off, but like the efficiency of them back there in such a tight space.
Yeah,
they'll work together.
But yeah, just keep it simple. Keep it with what you know.
See, this is smart. You do like a little soft open here. Give it to them for free. They spread the word.
Mm-hmm. And then that's another cool aspect coming up. Like obviously, social media part of this movie has been pretty big so far. But the way they like grow their following, they're traveling back to LA. And then they're kind of like posting, and you see that a shit ton today now. Like, hey, we're going to be here, and people just getting viral.
Yeah, they don't have a marketing
Instagram.
Budget. It's just Instagram. I love this scene where the kid's like, well, they're not paying for it. Now he's like, this is about pride if you're going to be a chef.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very short and like to the point scene, but it's very important to the whole role because this is when they're about to go like on the big road trip. He needs to have him committed, and he's basically instilling his passion in his son now, which is a huge point in the whole movie because that's what he wants to do. He wants to spend more time with his son. He feels bad because he doesn't have that time. And now he's really cementing that in.
Yeah, drilling into his son, like take pride in your work here.
Yeah. There we go. We had a nice father-son moment. Nice heartfelt. Long day's work, you know.
Let the kids smoke a Marlboro.
Yeah, have a beer.
The kid, I mean, that is an important job, dude. If he lets one fucking burn, the whole thing's ruined. How old do you think he is? 10? Did they say he was 10?
I think I said that earlier. I don't know if it... Oh, wow. Literally just said I'm 10 after you said that.
Oh. Like you heard me. He's going to hate it.
That was convenient. Oh, fuck yeah. I hated beer the first time I had it.
You remember that when your friends offer you beer.
Yeah, it's it's a weird concept now. Like, oh, I hated it back in the day. Well, now it's not too
Yeah,
bad.
it really is weird. Something just kind of like changes overnight. I honestly think it wasn't
Yeah.
like a slow maturation where I was like, oh, I'm slowly beginning to enjoy Michelob Ultra. It was literally just like one day I was like, this doesn't taste like ass to me anymore.
One of the first beers I had back in the day was like Budweiser, and I can't tell you the last time I actually had like a
Oh, the
Budweiser like
Red Heavy.
original, like Red Label. I don't know when the last time I had one of those was.
I think I remember that party with you. It was like the second weekend of college, right? And we had
That wasn't the first time, but I probably still at that point was like, oh, I like Budweiser since I had it.
because dude, back then our metabolisms were like whatever fucking beer you have, sure, I don't
Yeah,
care. 220 calories a can.
yeah, I can't even. Yeah, I don't even know last time I had a Bud original.
So the idea here is, I think Favreau just said this, but they're gonna basically get the menu straight, like in the Cuban capital of the United States. By Cuban, I mean like the sandwich, but also
Yeah.
maybe the culture as well. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when they think the menu is good, they're gonna road trip back to LA. And Leguizamo said, like, and obviously, like, we'll be hitting people up in cities along the way, which is literal like marketing tour around the country.
Yeah. Yep, that's basically what's gonna happen. He's got the van looking nice. Got it all painted up and everything.
Yeah, that looks really good. I don't remember them working out the deal for who's going to paint the truck.
Maybe he has some
If
local
Sofia Vergara
homies.
says call you, you know you've made it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't fuck this up, John.
Just literally seeing that truck drive by makes me hungry.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue or thing I'd have to get around if a food truck ever happened in my life is like the legality of it. Like, where can I park it? Like, what license or permits do
Right.
I have to have? And all
Ugh.
that shit.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works. Like,
Because they obviously get into some of that here in a minute, but
oh, the chalkboard menu, classic.
so raw, so original, gritty.
If you need it more authentic, you can swim 90 miles that way.
Yeah. Tostones, that's actually what I got earlier. That's like the fried plantain chips. They're fucking awesome.
Hmm.
They're like crispy.
So then, what are yuca fries?
It's made out of yucca root, which I don't know. We saw it earlier at like the farmer's market, but it's like a brown, big cylinder looking thing. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like a starchy root fruit or root vegetable.
Hmm. This right here is the kid playing through injury, you know? It's the
Yeah.
playoffs. No one's 100%. We say that all the time.
No, burn yourself. Okay, run it under some cold water and move on to the next sandwich. I'm sorry.
This is what he needed.
Twitter's blowing up.
Little
Do you see
gorilla
those little
marker.
birds flying off?
Oh, that's kind of a cool effect.
I think that's what Twitter, like, I don't know why, but that's where they consult him. Like, oh, it needs to look like this.
Oh, God.
Yeah, listen here, Paul Blart. We're going to win you over with our
For
Cubanos.
real.
Just calm down. I like the ninja look, the ninja chef look with the black and then the headband.
That is pretty cool, yeah. In case you need to kill someone like this, trying to stop your whole operation.
Yeah. I think they killed it with the casting on this police officer here.
Yeah, again, what would this casting call have read?
Yeah. Like slightly ethnic, vague looking face. But he fits
You're
the role.
The lava cake guy.
Yeah, from the internet. Another old
You have
person
internet too?
the Tosh.0 reference that's
I love how he
starting in
says
there.
you were hilarious. Like, I wasn't a guest on there. It was the clip.
Yeah, that wasn't my best moment in life. Thank you for finding it hilarious, though.
I think this part was in the trailer.
Let me get a pick. Let's see if we can get this to go viral.
Is Arm Around You Okay is kind of a callback to in the first Iron Man when he's taking the photo with the Marines in the car. Like, is it cool if I put up the gang sign? No, I'm kidding. Put it up.
That's actually a really good call out. I know there are some references in the movie. I think whenever him and his son like go to the movie theater, like you can hear Iron Man playing in the background.
All right, this cop, it's like
he's he's turned the corner. Lady in the Tramp. I love how Favreau just like goes along with it. So fuck it.
What a weird fucking request.
Yeah.
This kid should not be on Facebook. I don't care if it's just the company account. It's not safe, Nate.
Yeah, just put it on the company one.
So was that South Beach?
In Miami where they're at?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they were like trying to gear up for South Beach or fucking arresting him, or if like that was it and they conquered Florida, so now they're hitting the road.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be South Beach that they were at.
It actually looks really clean now, so good job, guys.
They took some time after they had that first stop in South Beach. They cleaned it up, got the bleach, got the peroxide out.
Is this a Vine reference?
I know, the 6-second video. I haven't thought about Vine in forever.
Vine was awesome. This is the guy I would get stuck behind on the highway, though.
All right, I have to pee so bad. I'll be back. Yeah. Keep it going, horns.
The food will keep cooking. This is a movie where you can almost smell it, if you know what I mean. I like John Leguizamo's character. It's like, I think two things. Number one, when he heard he was starting a Cuban food truck, he was like, all right, I want in on that. But two, if you're Favreau, you especially reach out to him because he's your best friend, but also his cultural connection to that type of food. He probably has a lot of little tricks of the trade. The cornstarch? Whatever works, man. It's not what it looks like, kid, okay? Now, after that, we will soak his genitals in a rosemary butter concoction, and then we will dip it in the cornstarch and we will bread it. And Favreau here, and actually Leguizamo's character as well, people who can sleep in situations like this, I am so jealous of. Can't sleep on a plane, can't sleep on a bus, in the car. I have to be in like a fucking king-size memory foam mattress. I'm sure that's... Oh, is it baby powder or cornstarch? I thought it was cornstarch from the kitchen, but that would probably violate some health code laws. I do know that he conceived it as a luxury at the time, but if you're going to spend this much time in a food truck like this, you need your rhythm as a chef. That sound system that Leguizamo was pitching is got to be more and more important. We don't have to have subs. Doesn't have to be like a Pimp My Ride type setup, but we got to have a little something to get our groove on back here. Jesus. This is, I would guess, like maybe like 2/3 the size of your average school bus, and he's already fucking reverse parallel parking it. Like, you could be a pro Uber driver if you actually, you could do that with this car, and there you go. As Nate returns, parking on a slope
we're
like
back.
that always makes me nervous. I was just saying how Favreau, this thing's like basically 2/3 the size of a school bus, and he got it like a week ago, and he's already like reverse parallel parking it.
Came back at the perfect time. Just got into Nolans.
Café du Mont, of course, with the famous beignets, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Something just very aesthetically pleasing of like the second you take the fried food out of the what's the name for it? The broiler or whatever, where they
The fryer.
The fryer. And like the second that it dries in.
Such an iconic look to that side of that bag too. The Café du Mont. I don't know what that stands for.
I believe it's Café of Mont.
Café of Mont.
So are they stuffed? I can't remember what the beignet.
No, they're just like airy in the middle.
Almost like a sopapilla, but without like the honey.
That's a good description. Yeah, kind of like it's basically the Cajun sopapilla, and instead of honey, you serve it with powdered sugar.
Mm.
They got a bit of a line here. They've gone viral. So.
Oh, I thought he fucked up. It was like,
no, it's a good problem to have. Down there, just right in the heart of the
got to be early, because if they were getting beignets, it's like a breakfast food. These people are like already lined up at like 9:30 or 10.
Possibly. I think they serve the beignets all day.
Oh, okay.
Which I think I mentioned this earlier. We had a few late nights in Nolans several years ago where we were getting 2 a.m. beignets. Some of those nights are a little fuzzy, but
yeah, we just stayed up really late. That's why.
Yeah, I think there were just sports on really late that we wanted to watch.
West Coast football game.
Yeah,
the old layout of Twitter in this is just like taking me back as well.
Yeah, I don't know like what iteration this was. Probably like 10 generations ago, since they're always updating the format.
See, this is where we realize, like, all right, the kid is giving us a dynamic that we desperately. He's like that last Spurs championship team. They're like, we need Kawhi because he makes us younger.
They're about to sign him as a chief marketing officer here. You're like, all right, you've got some vision. I like it.
So is that line there because he tweeted that they were in New Orleans?
Yeah. So like I said, this is the other cool aspect. Like they're driving back across to Los Angeles, and now, like at the birth of like going viral and being Twitter, Instagram,
they're
famous.
Peaking at the right time.
Yeah, like this is the generation of that. And now now it's a feel good moment. He gets to brag about his kid, like, oh yeah, he put all this stuff out. He's doing this. So it's a real good feel good moment now.
Yeah, and his kid, I think it shows him too. His kid is actually like emotionally invested enough in the food truck to like he just did that on his own. His dad didn't ask him to do it.
Yeah,
he just wanted to. See, the tough thing. This is a rarity for food trucks, I know, because they typically like stay within like a metro area. But like if they're driving across country, like the food could taste different everywhere you go because like they're getting it from different places. Like bread could taste completely different in, you could get a totally different Cuban in the Midwest than they had on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's funny because that's a really good point. Like just depending on the supplies you get, and it looked like when they were in New Orleans, they were like making beignets in the truck, and I think one of the menu items was like arroz or whatever. It's like Mexican for rice. I was like, I don't think that was on there before. They're kind of like changing the menu up, seeing what works and everything. But yeah, the ingredients are probably going to change pretty vastly. So
yeah, I was saying earlier while you were taking a piss that the sound system is, I think, more of a necessity than he realized. He looked at it as just like a luxury at first, but like you got to get in a rhythm in the kitchen, And
100%.
We also don't want to hear them sing. Is the other.
No, you got to have the right mix on to get grooving in the kitchen.
I remember when we used to clean up the cafe we worked at in college. We would always get what's the song with Beyonce where she breaks up with the guy?
To the left, everything to the left. In a box to the left.
Right, but what's the song called? Irreplaceable. Yeah, I think Irreplaceable.
I could have another you in a minute.
That's what I used to sweep.
Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute.
Places like this,
you
I would
must not know about me.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out the name of the song.
I think it's Irreplaceable. Like,
oh, yep, that's right. I was like, I've sang half of it. I don't know what it is yet.
So what are they picking up here?
Important part. We're jumping into Franklin's Barbecue, and that is actually Aaron Franklin, the real guy who started Franklin's Barbecue in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And this is like one of the most famous barbecue joints in Texas. They will have lines that are 4 hours long. People get there like 5 a.m. But it's turned into like kind of an event for people. They'll like take coolers with beer and they'll just hang out. It's a bucket list item, and honestly, only not being that far away from them, I'm mad I haven't done it yet.
I would probably cry too. The bark on that.
Yeah. And most of these are super simple, and that's what like Texas barbecue is all about. I think in his like mix, I think it's literally just salt and pepper and the brisket. That's it.
But that's them brainstorming right here.
Yeah.
Is that like, straight up hot sauce or barbecue sauce?
Those are barbecue sauces right there. But I mean, a lot of the Texas barbecue purists, they don't even put barbecue sauce on there. They just eat it as is.
I mean, if it's
so good,
has a good enough rub.
Austin Midnight. Also, so yeah, like you were saying, they're brainstorming. So he's like, okay, this is brisket, but what if we do this like a pork shoulder, so we can use it for the Cubanos? They still have beignets on the menu. It looks like they had some leftover dough.
Yeah. So like, I was thinking this when they first got there. Outside of like, a short like bathroom line or like a concession line, have you ever been first in like a legit line, like something like this, like 100 people and you're the first one in line?
Oh man, I'm trying to think.
I've never
probably not
had that. Because I would never get to something before everyone else. But someone has to be first in every line. It's wild to think like, who's the guy who's first in like this? Like, who's the first one there?
Yeah, and yeah, you've got to be there way early.
Medianoche? What's that? Is that the type of sandwich or is that the meat?
I think those are like the sandwiches.
Kid's getting pretty good.
He's grooving. And the guy that they just showed a second ago playing, that was Gary Clark Jr., who's a pretty big like Texas artist. Slight little cameo there with him.
He does a good job of like getting authentic people from this scene, being the food truck and kind of like, Southern barbecue scene into the movie. Yeah.
100%. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, that's one of the things I really like about this movie. Like, it's real. They really care about authenticity in this, and that's why they went on site to shoot in these places.
So this is her like kind of falling in love with him again, because he's sort of fallen in love with himself again. Like, he's found his passion. He's loving life.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know if this is a saying, but it's like a one-off saying, or I'm going to get close, but like, no one can love you until you can love yourself or something. I don't know. I'm sure that's a saying somewhere. I've heard like something similar. So yeah, that's kind of the culmination of this right now. She's actually getting turned on because like he's confident, he believes in himself. He's doing what he wants.
He's becoming the better version of himself.
Yeah. And then this is another subtle thing, like Gary Clark Jr. showing up here again. Like, Austin, huge music scene. Like, live music is like life down there in Austin. So, I love how they tied that in as well. So now you got.
How fucking cool would it be to sit on top of your own food truck and drink a beer?
Yeah, you're done. You're chilling with your son, having a beer, listening to some live music. Living the dream.
Slice Pizza. That's a good name for a pizza place.
Yeah. I might have to go down and try that in Austin. Because I'm sure it's legit. I'm sure it's a place down there.
I mean, I know that his son has to go to LA for school, but like, if you're him and you're in Austin with a food truck, you're like, bro, this is where I want to fucking be. We don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah. I know the LA scene is pretty big with food trucks, but I mean, Austin is right up there with it.
Yeah.
Got a ton of good taco food trucks. You got just a ton of good places to park a food truck. But yeah, now this is kind of a sadder part of the movie because he's realizing like once you get back home, like I don't think we're going to be able to spend as much time together because you got school and all this stuff. So even as proud as he is of his son and how many good times they've had, like they're going to be back to reality soon and they're going to get back into their old ways.
It seems like, I mean, it would make sense as a chef. You'd have really, really weird hours because like you would basically be working when he's off school.
Yeah.
But now that he's in the food truck, why does he think that he won't get to spend? He'll still have the same lack of being able to spend time with him.
That honestly is kind of a part that I was a little confused by.
Unless he's planning on like literally driving the truck around the country.
From this movie. No, I think his main goal is to keep it in LA, but I can't remember. I wasn't paying the closest attention there. But I don't know if it's then or maybe later. He's like, oh, after school you can come and help me at the food truck and things like that. So still tries to fit it in where he can.
It's good. And it's a win-win. The kid gets to be with his dad and he gets free child labor.
Yeah, he has to pay him like nothing.
You can do it. You see Chick-fil-A somewhere had offered to, if people wanted to volunteer, they would pay them in chicken sandwiches.
Not a bad idea.
And they had to like take it down because people were like fucking, they were like $1 billion company last year. And like, you're paying people with chicken sandwiches.
Oh, is that not right? Yeah.
That's this kid's shirt is on point. It says, hey.
It's like less than minimum wage.
For real.
I just noticed on his right forearm, which is kind of interesting, he has like a bear on there, which is like the bear that's on the flag of California.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
The kid's acting like his dad's going off to war. He's like, I'm just gonna cook.
I know it's a bit much, and yeah, like you were saying earlier, like they're having this like deep conversation, but like you guys can still like work together, like even if it's like limited hours. Like
the way Favreau told his son too, it was almost like he's breaking up with him. Look, you're gonna be so busy. And
it's not you, it's me. Sparks are flying. Stick it in her butt.
What?
Huh?
I think we skipped a few steps.
Pee in her butt.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
Where does he live, dude? This looks like the storage place at
like I'm saying, like it's just a studio apartment. Half of or 3/4 of it may be a kitchen, and he's got like a bed
and just shit everywhere. Like,
table.
Have a little pride, man.
Yeah.
I mean, chefs have to have their kitchens fucking buttoned up. It's weird that his house is such a crack den.
Everything except the kitchen is shitty.
Right. Look at the old iPhone.
Yeah, what is that, like a 3? I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, this is like the highlight really put together. Memories.
Memories bring back you.
Bing, dong, blink, dong, ding. He's like, fuck, I wore the same shirt 2 days in a row. Now people know.
Man, he needs to sign his son on. Yeah, he could be a marketing manager. He could be a social media manager. It looks like he's got some good video editing skills.
Fucking cop.
And he's good on that panini press. I mean, sign him up.
Yeah, he had a few struggles early, but once he got his timing down.
He burnt that one. You can look past that.
The grill was running hot.
No, I just had to get a feel for it.
I really want plantain chips now.
They're pretty good. They're a recent discovery of mine, honestly. But they're pretty solid.
I mean, again, this movie's been great, but like, I don't get I just don't understand where the conflict is coming with his relationship with his son. Like what he's making a decision to consciously do just not work as much.
Basically. Yeah.
I thought Oliver Platt was in way more of this movie for some reason.
He comes back in it in a minute. But he still isn't in it a ton.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought he was like the recurring or like the antagonist like constantly throughout the film.
He plants the seed for what ultimately sends him on his journey with the food truck, but
this thing has flown by, man. There's like 10 minutes left and it's basically a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. And what I was saying earlier when I wasn't paying too much attention, we were just talking. Just now was when he was talking about, hey, if your mom's okay with it, you can come work after school and all that kind of stuff. Which, shit, John, why didn't you say that in Austin? We could have just had the conversation.
Now that I think about it, I wonder if maybe he just didn't want to like speak without talking to his mom about it.
I mean, that could be part of it. And so here now we get the real LA.
This is like the scene. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift of the food truck scene.
Yeah, getting real big Fast and Furious vibes. Got the ex-wife. Got the ex-wife back in it.
It's business, okay?
It's okay. It's a family bit. Oh, so we're a family now. We getting back together?
Sure.
Why not? I want to say, there we go. There's Oliver Platt coming back. And I'm like looking at the crowd. For some reason, I have nothing to back this. I felt like there's some like other cameos in the crowd that I can't remember, but I may be wrong.
Look at the fucking soul patch on that guy that just got cut.
He's like,
Excuse me?
I will stab a bitch.
What does cloying mean? I don't know, but it sounds really demeaning.
Yeah, it's probably not good. But this is the long arc of the movie coming back and him redeeming himself with his food truck food.
Yeah. He's smart too. He knew he couldn't show his face. He was like, I sent in a paid 14-year-old. Just bought him some jewel pods.
He's like, picking a fight with you. I didn't even know how Twitter worked 2 weeks ago.
He's like, yeah, I know. That's why we're here, because you wrote that in a review.
But now you do have control of the menu, so you're cooking for yourself now.
It's clear, too, Oliver Platt's character is, like, fucking obsessed with Jon Favreau. To, like, find this food truck of his as a food critic, like, probably not the type of place you typically eat at.
Yeah, Oliver Platt's, like, painted as an asshole at the beginning. But ultimately, I mean, he wants to seek out good food. He found good food, and he can appreciate that.
He does look like a guy who would sell his website for a whole lot of money.
Yeah, he's kind of giving me Michael Moore vibes right now.
He's like, your offer is incredible. The only thing I don't like is I'd have to work for you or with you, but everything else sounds great.
Yeah. He's like, it looked good in the public eye. You know, we bear the hatchet. It's good publicity. Delicioso.
Mucho goodo.
Mucho. The little Spanglish there.
So demeaning.
Yeah, he's like, you guys just talked, but why didn't you kick his ass? I'm confused what just happened there.
Oh, I forgot they got like a brick and mortar.
Yeah. Kind of. I think they still have the food truck in the back.
It's if you watch the movie in a certain context, it even though he kind of said that he didn't mean for the feud to get that far, but it kind of seems like Oliver Platt is like Emperor Palpatine and strategically planned all this. Pissed him off so he would quit, and then he could basically just hire him away to start this company for him.
But then, what's the bigger event that's happening right now?
Is it their remarriage?
Yeah. Normally everyone's happy in the end. They get back together.
Yeah, not your conventional love story, but a good one.
No, but it worked out. Robert Downey Jr. kind of snuck in for a little bit, tasted the pie. And now we're back.
Bongos are back. Sucks because when there's a bongos guy at the wedding, everyone else there knows. Well, he obviously gets first pick of the bridesmaids. Just by default.
Abuelita, Grandpa. I think that was Grandpa again. I think that was him singing and dancing and everything. So, well, what a good flick. What a good joint, as we may call it, if Spike Lee won't sue us over that. But that was the 2014 film Chef. I haven't seen it, but there was also like a 2017 Indian remake of this that I saw.
Oh, you know what? I did hear about that, actually.
Researching for this one. Might give that a go if I can find it streaming somewhere. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like do they cook Cuban food? I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't even know like where it's set or anything. I just saw it on IMDb randomly, but that'd be an interesting one to look up.
Have you heard anything about the Chef Show coming back? It was a few years old now, so I feel like it was just a one-off. But it seems like a really easy thing to make another season of.
I haven't. Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it had a lot of different aspects of it, like him and Roy Choi just cooking together and cooking something, and then there were some where they went and visited chefs like in their restaurants and kind of looked at what they were cooking and things like that. So it was a really cool concept, and I really wish they would bring it back. Because I watch a ton of like food
he probably
shows,
just doesn't have time.
Streaming shows. Oh yeah, is he busy doing stuff? I don't know. But that was the movie Chef. So thank you guys for joining us. Horns, any last thoughts? What'd you think? I know you probably haven't seen it in a while, but thoughts on it, memories of it, things that maybe showed up a little differently than you remember them.
I think I forgot sort of how simple the plot is, but also what I love about Chef is I love movies that like show us a world that we don't really ever get to see in film. And I can't think of another movie that really covers like the food truck life, like the subculture around all of it, and like how like there's some really talented culinary artists that are in it and how they got there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you obviously get a ton of movies, ton of TV shows that center around high-end restaurants, Michelin stars, and all that kind of stuff, the fast-paced stuff. But this is kind of one of the first ones that I've seen where the food truck phenomenon is really encapsulated, and it's a good story of how he gets there. And like I said, what kicked it off is like the food truck industry, like really popping off, and some really good chefs like Roy Choi, who is involved in this, going back to the roots and doing what they love, and getting down to the nitty gritty and putting out some good food and maybe a less than fancy environment. So, really great movie. Spoiler, it may pop up on my top 100 at some point. Huh?
I would expect no less.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great one. And, like I mentioned earlier, it's a good dreamer story. So even if you aren't tied into the foodie world that much, you can appreciate what happens to him hear him following his dreams and all that. So those are our final thoughts on that. Thank you for joining us. We're the Bro Force Squad. That was the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. I am Nate Thurman, the American Hero. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Horns does some great reviews on Letterboxd. And you can go to our website if you Google us, broforcesquad.com. So thank you for joining us for this movie commentary, and we will see you next time.
Cook up something nice with butter on it.
And if you're still listening, now you're getting into the Roy Choi showing Jon Favreau how to make the perfect grilled cheese.
See, this is a great movie to do this research for.